Hi, my name is Drew, and welcome to another video in my series of do-it-yourself photography projects. Here I've got a do-it-yourself Lightbox, or light tent as some of you may call it. These are used in product photography for taking pictures of small objects on a seamless white backdrop. Let's talk material. Here's the ripstop nylon. It's a very translucent material. I purchased 1 square yard at Joann's Fabrics for about $8. Here are 3/8 of an inch dowel. I purchased it in I believe 48-inch sections, so there was some wasted material. I have 10 dowels at 18.25 inches long. Here I have 1.5 inch square blocks. They're not cut perfectly, but you don't need to be perfect in this particular area. I have 8 of these. You need about a little over a foot to make them. Just get 2 feet, or you might have to buy a full 12-foot section like I had to. And last up is this flat white paint. The paint was just a few dollars at Lowe's. It doesn't matter. I would get flat though. The whole purpose, and this is completely optional, is to paint the wood. I didn't paint the dowels because I haven't found it to matter yet, but these, so that in any reflective objects you won't have a brown or tan or whatever color material you do use reflecting on the object. Alright, let's talk about the design and construction of this project. First up is the ripstop material. As I said, we purchased it in a square yard, so that's 36 inches by 36 inches. The first thing I did was I cut it into 2 18 by 36 inch pieces, essentially cutting it in half down one edge. I then cut off about 12-14 inches off each piece on the lengthwise, so that I would be able to get essentially an 18-inch piece of material after I took about an inch to fold over onto the dowels. So you can see I have a dowel inserted here, and what I did is I used a sewing machine and I just sewed it across. That took me like 2 minutes on each side, and I'm no good with that. And if you don't have a sewing machine, you could use safety pins for something non-permanent. You could use Velcro if that's more your thing. You can see it's pretty raggedy. I didn't put a lot of effort into making it nice and neat. Obviously you'd want to for a long-term solution, or as you get better. I might redo these with a different material, or just take my lessons learned and trim it up and make it a little bit neater. Anyway, so I use that. You just take a dowel, to figure out how much you need, you just take a dowel, slide it into the hole you created, right? And so then you fold it over, or if you haven't folded over, you would need to do that. And you just either sew it up or attach it somehow, and so you can get the dowel in and out very easily. Okay, so then you can see I have this this almost square piece of material, and that's what you saw on the left and the right side of the light tent. So I just made 2 of those, 1 for each side. The dowels themselves, as I said, are 18.5 inches, or more like 18.25. None of this is perfectly exact. The measurements are all what I aimed for. My skills with tools isn't that great. And so there's probably a plus or minus 1/10 of an inch on everything. Anyway, so this 3-inch dowel, I cut the section of dowel. I don't know if it was 48 inches, 60 inches, however long. I cut it into 18.25, 18.5 piece chunks. I made 10 of those. These blocks, as I said, I got that 12-foot piece of material, so it's 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. I also just cut it 1.5 inches so everything was square. And then what I did is I took a 3/8 inch drill bit that matches the dowels and drilled a hole in each of the sides of the cubes. I did that on all sides of all the cubes to make assembling easy, so when I take it apart and put it away, I don't have to remember, oh, well, this is piece A, this is piece B, and try and put some jigsaw puzzle back together. If you look closely, my holes aren't exactly centered. I would recommend slowing down. I rushed the project as I usually do, and just drawing a line from corner to corner and then drilling at the center of the X. That'll give you a much better level spot, so you don't have some of the tilt that you did when you looked at the assembled project. Okay. Once you've cut all the pieces, drilled all the holes, stitched up the material, you just assemble it by putting the 2 sides up. So you have the 2 sides over here, over here. Then you have a cross rod on the bottom and the top, and then on the top up here. It's pretty sturdy. You have what you need. I also use a piece of white, just seamless paper that I use gaffer's tape or another piece of tape or some other way you want to attach it up on the bottom and go forward. That creates that nice smooth transition, just like you'd use in the studio shots for all kinds of other things. All told, the construction, the making was probably half an hour. It took me longer to go find all the materials. In fact, I didn't do the calculations right and had to go out to the store again to get more dowels. The really simple construction, saw, hacksaw, whatever you need. If you have a Swiss Army knife with a serrated blade, you could probably make it through. That would probably take a couple hours. I used a skill saw on these. I'm sorry, it was a chop saw on these, and hammered them out. You could use something like just a regular manual saw or whatever, but electric is going to be a lot quicker. There's not a lot to this. Assembly, as I said, is putting all the pieces together. It really, I mean, I only have about half the pieces here, but you just put it together. If you take everything apart, you can just zip tie, or I have some Velcro wraps I got on monoprice.com. I just wrap it up with 2 of those, and it fits nicely in a closet. If you had a bag or some kind of container, like a Rubbermaid, whatever, you can put it together nicely, slide it under your bed, put it in your closet or whatever, and pull out another day. The project's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun building it, and I think that about does it. Now we are going to review a couple photos taken using this light tent. In this first photo, you can see a light shadow on the bottom of the knife, but it is almost completely enveloped in pure white. In this second photo, you can see my Canon EOS M in a very similar lighting situation. Finally, you can see the setup shot for the 2 prior photos. I'm using the wireless ETTL function on my 7D to control both a 430EX2 and a 580EX2, shooting through the light tent on both sides. This kind of shooting takes a lot of practice and patience, but as you can see, the light is nicely diffused with this light tent. Do-it-yourself projects can be really fun. A lot of times they're going to save you money, sometimes they won't save you very much at all, but usually you have fun making them, you learn something, and just enjoy your time spent on your hobbies. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.